town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
Welcome back to Common Folk.
Good morning is what we should say.
Yeah, we're doing a morning recording here.
Yeah, Andy's got some coffee.
Yes, I do.
No
Yeah.
coffee. I didn't make
Got a
that this
vitamin
morning.
water.
For you. Sorry about that.
You know, we use your guys' coffee
Which one?
as like a treat. Like we don't drink it all throughout the week,
Mm-hmm.
but then when the weekend comes around, that's when and Ashley usually does like a mixture of the Homestead and the blueberry or the pecan.
Nice.
Okay.
You know, so you don't because
Yep.
it's very flavorful.
Mhm.
You know, and it could kind of punch you in the face if you do
Mhm.
all
I love
blueberry.
the blueberry one.
I do too.
I've
could do
never
it.
mixed them,
Yeah,
but I'm not drinking much coffee lately. So,
I drink about 8 cups a day. So
Really?
do you really?
it's probably I don't know. It's probably closer to 4.
Really? So
yeah.
you drink it throughout the day?
No, I
Just the morning you pound
just
it?
smash it from like 6 a.m. to about 10 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah,
In that cup? What if it gets cold?
these don't get cold.
But you won't drink it in an actual
Yes, I
mug?
will in a mug, and if I'm at home, working from the home office, I'll just warm it up in the microwave.
Okay, but that's what I'm wondering. If you drink it slow enough to have to microwave it, because I would microwave it like 3 or 4 times.
I end up doing that, especially when I'm editing video.
Uh-huh.
Because you just get into the zone. You're just working, and then you forget to
Yeah.
that your coffee's in there. But yeah.
What's your take on drinking coffee throughout the whole day?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
I wouldn't drink it all day.
no,
No.
but there's so many people that do.
We
Do you think it's like water to them?
it must be.
Is that like an older generation thing? Or
no?
I don't know any of my friends that drink it.
I think a lot of it
throughout
has
the
to
day.
do with marketing, which I have a
You
marketing
think?
background.
Okay.
So, if I own a coffee company, I want to market it as a all-day drink, and that's what they've done. Iced coffees and
Yeah.
adding all this sugar and all this other stuff to it to make it
Okay.
palatable. But we used to, Ashley and I would always work a couple outdoor shows, expos.
Yeah.
And we'd sell deer hunts and turkey hunts, through our outfitter.
Right.
And we'd always get this spot next to this group of Amish guys that made hunting blinds,
Okay.
and they would drink coffee all day, every day, all of them, the kids, the grown-ups,
Stop. The kids.
the kids even. And it's just kind of funny because they're not allowed to have pop and other things.
But they can have coffee.
But yeah, coffee makes the cut. That makes
Huh.
the grade. So that's what they would do. They'd drink coffee all day, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you one of those guys where, so you've got your big frig there, you get your coffee in the morning in it, and then you switch it over to like, I don't know, an energy drink in the afternoon or whatever in the big frig, and then the beer goes in it.
Then the beer goes
in
The
the
same cup?
same
Yeah.
cup.
Ooh.
There's a lot of people that do that.
There is a lot of people. What I can do,
What?
I can switch this over to tea, but I don't try to throw like Mountain Dew in there or anything
Okay.
like that. I have a number of these big frigs now, so I kind of have one this is where, drinks go in, like vodka drinks, and this is the one that coffee goes in, and and water or whatever.
I think like when we've been, like if we go on a vacation or whatever, and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and we're drinking out of those all day, that'll be the scenario. Like it'll be coffee in the morning,
Yeah.
and then by afternoon when it's beer time, you pour a little bit of beer in there, swish it around, wash the coffee
Rinse it
out.
out.
Give it the
Yeah.
rinse.
Did you
then-
look at the tote at home and notice that I put some big frigs in there?
I
Because
haven't
we're heading
looked
out tomorrow
at all.
Yeah.
for a vacay, and you're like pre-planning. That's what your game plan? Like that's what you're going to do?
Everybody,
That's probably what's going to happen, yeah.
everybody gets a tumbler, and that is it.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe on vacation.
Well, you guys kind of just got back from a vacation, and that got me to thinking, and it kind of sent me down a path, and I thought it'd be a good topic for
Yeah.
this one. And it's just kind of like an American, pro-American, patriotism's not dead type of theme that I was thinking of, because I was just, following you guys on social media, and you sent out a couple of posts. I mean, you guys went to NASCAR races, or not NASCAR, but stock car
Dirt track,
races.
Yeah.
You're shooting some trap. You're out on a farm. I mean, you guys did a lot of things. And I was just thinking, man, this is American AF right here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I haven't got to talk to you guys about it, so I wanted you to kind of share with all of us. Like, so you guys were up to visit Zach?
Yeah, so we went up to see Millennial Farmer, Zach Johnson, his family, Randy, the master pipe layer, and his family. They all kind of live in the same area and are all buddies. We also stopped on the way to see Larson Farms.
All right.
Yeah.
Got to...
they moved the merch.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, yep. We
Yeah.
got to see their... We've obviously met with them plenty of times before, but haven't been to the farm.
Okay.
So got to go to the farm, kind of see their operation, how that's all set up, spend a little time with them.
That place is sweet. Like, they have it very decked out. Like, nice. Like, it's done up well.
The whole farm, I bet, is a well-oiled machine. Not just
Yeah.
this tractor,
Yeah.
not just the pens
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
here.
You
the
can tell they really
whole thing.
Yeah, take care
That's
of all their
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah, and all these guys, I mean, they take really good care of their stuff. You know, the shop's clean, the equipment's clean, it's organized, everything has its space, you know, so on and so forth. So, but yeah, the main reason for the trip was they have a big concert, like a farm field concert up there every year around
yeah?
the 4th. Yep. So Zach, the Millennial Farmer brand, helped sponsor it. This year they were raising money for local scholarships for trade-related schools.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Seeing that's coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Previous year, he was involved in it doing fundraising for grain bin rescue efforts.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's kind of how he gets involved with that. So we come up there and help support that, bring some merchandise and those kinds of things. But yeah, man, we took the opportunity to do all the America.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was. Did that concert? What are they? Does it have a name?
It's called Anderson Bash.
Just Anderson Bash.
Yep.
See, I had a vision back when I was like in high school. You know how each field kind of has a lull spot where not much grows, and that's where the bales go, or something
Yep.
like that. That's where you park all the tractors, whatever. I always thought it'd be really cool to have a concert out in front of our place on our ranch and call it Cornstalk instead of Woodstock.
Yeah.
Cornstalk.
Nice.
Fun,
Maybe we need to get old Eric Berger back.
Should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
You
He'd
know.
love it.
That'd be awesome.
This year, it was 2 days of bands. Last year was just 1 day, so it was a Friday, Saturday. We
Yeah.
ended up watching Zach and Onyx, who's 13, races.
His son.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
he is, I think, the youngest driver. I think you're supposed to be 14, but they let him.
They let him go.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's
they did
driving
good.
full size. They call them B mods. Just whipping around the track.
Yeah.
Drifting around the
I'm sure he's
turns
fine.
and
The ones that
bumping
have
and
those-
rubbing.
The tops have those
I
panels.
think he did drive a car like that previously, but this is the next step. This
Oh, wow.
looks like
car.
an actual race car.
Oh man,
Yeah,
on a dirt track.
dirt
Yes.
track setup. Yep.
That's cool.
It is
Yep.
really cool. Yeah. So that was fun. We did that, and then that concert. It was Thompson Square was kind of the big one, and then we saw Shenandoah
Yeah, you said that.
sing.
Shenandoah.
So
Old school '90s country.
yeah, I mean, I didn't remember some of their music, and then he started playing it, and I'm like, oh, duh.
Yeah.
Like,
You forget about those
Yeah.
songs. Yeah.
he had a really killer mullet.
Oh.
I will just say that.
Those are coming back
Like,
too.
but
Holy.
it was like on point. I think he's probably had it
Yeah.
for 50 years.
That's just the way it.
That's
he probably doesn't
how
have
his
to
hair
cut his hair now.
grows.
That's just the way it is. Yeah.
It was good.
Man,
So-
that reminds me that Thompson Square was there too.
Mm-hmm.
They love doing that stuff. Back during the COVID, that whole shindig thing, they did a concert right down the way from us at that place that we go pheasant hunting.
Oh, at
Golly, Oak.
Oak Creek or something
Yeah,
like
Oak
that.
Creek, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were the headliner there.
Okay, we
And
didn't. Yeah.
They jumped
Yeah.
through all the hoops. All right, okay, a table here, a table there, 6 foot apart, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But they did the whole 9 yards. It was they're raising money through this pheasant hunt for like disabled kids and people.
Okay.
And then after they didn't, and they were hunting. they went hunting, did the whole
Nice.
thing. So yeah, I did a little story on that.
Yeah.
Reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So we did that, and then, like you said, we got an opportunity one morning to go do some shooting. Zach is Millennial Farmers a partner with a number of other guys in a shooting park. That's basically a clay park. So they've got, I don't know, 20 trap houses and 5 stand and a couple of other things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty neat setup. Yeah. So we went out there, shot some clays. He actually had he did something, I think, on Instagram, like where he announced to all of the folks, like, hey, come out this day for this time and come shoot and have fun and whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what we went out and did. And we got to meet as well on our Stock and Rod website. One of the brands is Target Focused Life.
Okay.
So that's a YouTube channel. Steve Gould is his name. And he is a like an exhibition trick shooter.
Oh, he can like throw 5 up with his hand and shoot them all with his left hand.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He did some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and his like on his YouTube channel, I mean, not only does he do those kinds of things, but he's got a lot of really informative stuff. One of the things he was talking to us about was a series that he's putting together on how to select and use a shotgun. Here's all the things you need to run through to be a really good shooter with a shotgun. And I think it was like a 10 or 15 part series.
Yeah.
So he's really getting into it. Yeah. But we got to shoot with him. He did a little bit of exhibition stuff for us, shooting his gun upside down, shooting it backward.
Like,
behind
what?
his back.
Hitting
One hand.
clays that are flying? How do you even know where they're going?
I mean, have you ever tried to just shoot something from the hip?
Right.
You know, like it's impossible. And here these guys are, throwing 3 or 4 up and just shoot from the hip and
Yep.
Yeah.
We played a bunch of, well, we did regular trap, 25 rounds. What do you get out of 25, whatever.
Oh, sure.
And then we did a bunch of different random games like Knockout or what, because there was probably,
Annie
there
Oakley.
had been like 15 or 20 of us shooting. So then we could all get in a line and all kind of shoot together and have this competition or shoot as teams or whatever. And Joel was shooting with us. And I think we played a couple of different games. And on one of them, I think I was like the first or second one to get knocked out.
I think so.
And then on the next one, I went all the way to the end and was shooting against Steve.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The trick shooter. And I'm like, yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Yeah.
Like, I don't remember being that nervous with a gun ever. Like, I'm standing next to him and I'm just like,
Right.
what am I even doing here? Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
and I got lucky a couple times, in Knockout, you shoot. If you miss, the other person gets the opportunity to shoot. If they hit your clay, you're out.
You're out, yeah.
So it was just so falling that it was my shot. So I shot, missed.
Oh, he's on it.
He missed.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
kidding me.
Oh, God, I'm still alive.
Ben was like, oh.
And then we go around again, and then it's his turn to shoot. So his clay comes out, he smacks it. Then it's my turn again.
You hit it.
I might have, and then
it was
maybe the next
again.
one around,
Yeah.
I missed, and then boom, he hit it, and
Yeah.
Cool.
he knocked me out.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But
he
you
ended up
did
getting
not
it.
look nervous. You told me that afterwards, and I'm like, you did not look nervous
I
at all.
felt
Maybe
nervous
his
standing
heart
there
was
aiming, like trying to stay steady.
I think that's I forget who I was talking to. Oh, one of the last baseball games I broadcast. It was this guy's first time doing the play-by-play on live TV.
Was
and
he
was
nervous?
he was a nervous wreck. And the whole time I'm just trying to talk him down, like, dude, you're doing fine. You understand baseball. You've called a million radio games. It's good. It's good. And after the game, he was just so disappointed with himself. Like, what are you talking about? It was a great game. You did fine. What'd you expect? You're not going to be the best. You're not going to be Bob Costas in one game. And I told him, if you don't have those butterflies, if you don't get a little nervous, then you probably don't want to be doing that.
Yeah.
You should have those.
Yeah.
And I still get nervous. When I'm interviewing like somebody like what you're talking about there, like. But I think it's a good thing. Kind of keeps you on your toes and lets you know that it actually matters to you. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. That was fun at the park. We spent some time there.
Yeah, it was
like
fun.
3-4
The shooting
hours.
was fun.
And then hit up the beach. They have
Yeah,
a
we
nice lake.
so like you're talking about, I mean, all things
America.
celebration in America. We went down to their lake, did some barbecue, and just went and hung out on the water.
Yeah.
One of the things that's kind of cool, those lakes up there, they've got these massive sandbars. Like the sand comes out from the bank so far and stays level.
It's
So you've got
awesome.
like 3 foot of water for, I don't know,
Yeah.
80 yards.
Right.
So you can just walk around out there and people pull the boats still float high enough. So
Sure.
you pull your boat on it,
Yep.
anchor down, jump out, and everyone's just walking around hanging out.
Yeah, I got to get you guys up to my neck of the woods. We're between 2 dams on the Missouri River, and that's how that is. We
Oh,
got
it
a
is?
ton of sand, and yeah, that's what we do. We go on the sandbars, have fun, have parties, whatever.
Heck yeah.
You know, so yeah.
It's just so different than the lake out here,
Right.
where you have to have a life jacket or you're on a
Sure.
float or something.
And a lot of ours around here are kind of muddy bottoms.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Unless it's the sand pit lakes or whatever,
Yep.
along I-80 there.
Yep.
But no, just seeing all that and what you guys did and how you just packed all that into a week, and I'm like, that's as American AF. And the majority of people are doing those type of things.
Yeah.
Enjoying that type of a lifestyle. And it makes me think that when we see all this stuff, like what Target's doing and this and that, it's just such a small part of it. And I feel like a lot of those things that are put out there is just trying to shake the hornet's nest.
Yeah.
And if you just step away from it and just look at what everyone's actually doing, thinking, feeling, man, America's as good as it's ever been. I do feel there's cracks here, there, whatever, but man, this nation is doing something that no one else has. You want to talk about diversification, you want to talk about including people, inclusion, and just seeing what your family did over the weekend, and mine too.
That's what I was just going to ask.
We
What do
did
you
it up
got?
too, man. Like I had all sorts of moments where I'm like, wow, this is my life.
fun, yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
hit the lake too, or what?
Oh yeah, we hit the lake, and
Took the boat out?
yep. And my nephew had him and his buddies. They're the next generation younger, so they still get after it, right? And that's fun to, it's just kind of fun to watch and see, like, oh man, I remember when I used to tie it on like that.
Yeah.
But there was a moment for me. I was so happy we got to do this game. So the Corn Belt League,
Okay,
that collegiate, and you guys went to a game, Filth Ballers last year, they got this military team, this traveling military team, to come in and play a game on July 3rd. And he really wanted us to broadcast it. And it just, that's not our normal pattern as far as our broadcasting schedule. Those games are scheduled for Thursday night.
Okay.
So we moved things around and worked it around our, because we also did 2 or 3 different July 4th celebrations, and parades, live broadcasts. But it worked out to where we did the July 3rd game. And this team's called the Military War Dogs, and it's made up of active and former and veterans that are baseball players that played at the collegiate level or really good at high school, but they were either active servicemen or veterans, and they're competitive. They're a good team. And the Corn Belt League put together a squad where all the players on theirs, either their father, their uncle, their grandfather had served. So they were playing for their family member. And that was pretty cool. When I interviewed the player of the game, the young man, the first thing he wanted to talk about was how his uncle served in the Army, and it was an honor to play for him.
Yeah.
And so there's just a ton of like pinch me moments, right? It's like you can't get more American than this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? College
Yeah.
baseball in Omaha, playing in the Military War Dogs.
Jeez.
Yep.
And so the game started at 7. So it's kind of a neat layout where the shadows start to cast across the infield, and then it gets dark by, the 9th inning. I remember this one moment, like, this is unfreaking believable, because it's played on University of Omaha's old field. J.J. Isaacson Field there at Seymour Smith Park. And so your backdrop is just a bunch of old, mature trees, and then this skyline of Omaha behind that. And by the time it got to the 9th inning, it was dark, and it was just constant fireworks going off
man.
over the
sweet.
treetops, And so I'm watching baseball, calling a baseball game. The commissioner of the league's bringing me corn on the cob that they make, and bratwurst.
And
I'm like,
watching fireworks.
I'm like, this is American AF right here. Like, you can't beat this. And I love baseball, so I was just eating it up.
That's awesome.
It was.
Was it a good game? Was it back and forth, or was it a blowout?
It was a good game to start with, but the military dogs kind of ran out of pitching.
Oh, they did.
So they ended up losing, I think, like 9-3 or something like that.
Okay, that's not that bad.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was one of those games that the score was kind of secondary. I mean, they were
Yes.
competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, they were competitive. Don't get me wrong.
But they were older too, obviously.
Yeah, they were a couple years older.
Oh, just a couple. Okay, I was thinking like
Some of them were older. You know what I mean?
Our
Like,
age, playing against 20-somethings.
Yeah. I would say the majority of them were like 31, 33, something like that. And
yeah.
They're playing against 24-year-olds.
Oh, that's super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
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 Then, to kind of, it sucks when the holiday is almost in the middle of the week,
Yeah.
because it was Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it was the 4th.
And all of those things that we were talking about, we were doing on the weekend. And then Monday's kind of weird. Like, some people are working, some people aren't.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, usually everyone's off, and then you can't do too much because then Wednesday you got to get back to it.
Right. Yeah.
But a lot of, excuse me, and I think you guys participated in it as well. A lot of these small towns around, when you're talking about America, are doing their own celebrations.
Yeah, a parade or something.
Yeah. So our little town had the Freedom Festival, and it starts with a lot of people going down to the fire station, supporting the fire station.
Yep.
And then going into the little town and all the festivities, the food trucks, the
Mud volleyball.
Mud volleyball.
That was so awesome.
Joel played in.
Oh my gosh. How many teams were in that?
I think they said 32 was
That
the most. They were supposed to cut it off
that
at
was
26.
That was a packed house. We
It was
drove by
packed.
after we had the pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then the parade, and there was a lot of people out for that, and then the town fireworks, in
yeah,
the evening.
they had a band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we went
I
back
mean-
for the fireworks there.
Unfortunately, it was raining a little bit, but
Yeah.
it is fun. It is fun. And then Joel set off some of his fireworks. But when you're talking about the 4th, it's like there were a couple moments too. I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
Well, and
Hopefully people took a second like you did at the game to really think about
right.
it.
Soak it in, right?
Yeah.
Well, even going to the pancake feed there, that it was at the fire hall, fire station. And Ben, you were there helping and working it.
Yep.
What did it open at 7? You said the line was wrapped around the building within 5 minutes and kind of stayed that way.
Oh yeah, by like 7:30, it was just the line was full.
It went to 11, right?
Officially, it's
Supposed
until
to.
11, but yeah, we went a little while after 11.
Oh, did you?
We thought we would
Okay.
sneak in there at about 10:30, and when everyone had already eaten and got out of there. No, the line was still way
Yeah.
out from the front door
Was
out to the
it?
parking lot. Yeah. So
As far as I know, and to your point that things are as good as ever as far as people's mentality goes. That was the largest fundraiser we've had for
Is it?
the 4th of July pancake feed.
Yeah.
We raised more money that day than we have in any other year
That
previously.
is so cool. I love
And we
that.
ran out of we had all the pancakes and the sausage and the plates and all the things based on how it had gone in years past.
yeah.
And we ran out of sausage.
Uh-huh.
And they had to run up to town and get 50 or 70
Is that why
more
you had
pounds.
Is that why you had patties and links?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it all
all right.
changed. Yeah. Which we've never had to do before. So
Well, I
That's a
would've-
good problem to have.
It really is. I would have left you a note in the donation box instead of a $50 bill. I would have left a little note like, "Where's my sausage?"
yeah. And that's another thing that's cool about it. It's like if you want to just come and eat and say hi or whatever, you can. It's not, you don't have to pay to be there.
Right.
It's all free will donation.
Yep.
And we did silent auction as well. But even with all that in mind, we raised a ton of money.
Yeah, no, it was a good deal. And, just going down that thought process, for every action, there's kind of a reaction. And I feel that we're getting overloaded with American type stuff and, it's going down the drain and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the message that you're going to put out on social media or whatever during commercial breaks, during the news, you're going to get a reaction. And I think that's what we're seeing. I mean, how many people now are going out of their way to soup up their pickup truck and put the American flag on the side and a big picture on the back, you know? I mean, in the 80s and 90s, I even feel that, no, you just went to the lake and you enjoyed it. You didn't really think much of it, right?
Yeah.
It's just what you did.
Yeah.
Now I think people are like, okay, this is America, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to show you. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit, so in a way, it's kind of a good thing. Like, there's been a realization that, man, there are forces out there that might want to take this away or limit this. And now you're starting to see things like record numbers at the pancake feed at the fire hall, supporting EMTs and firefighters, volunteer firefighters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just the vast majority of people think that way. I really think that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
let's not go ahead.
I was just going to say that, you know, from the beginning, that has been kind of one of the underlying themes and missions of this podcast. Is that's why we call it Common Folk, because you're hearing all of these things that either they want you to hear or it gets clicks, it creates drama,
Right.
you know, whatever. So it makes people feel like, oh my God, this must be what's going on, all this craziness.
Yeah.
And that's what we wanted to do, was to bring, you know, a middle of the road, common sense perspective on things, like bring people back to earth. Like this is what's really going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. No, I think you nailed it there. And it is what's really going on. And it might not be so big. And the patriotism might not be as grand as what I feel it is right now if it weren't for whatever these other forces trying to make people believe that, no, it's bad. It's really bad out there. And,
No, there's some good.
Yeah, there's still some good.
Let's also not forget we had a crawfish boil at the neighbors.
Oh yeah, we did
See?
that. Yep.
I
There you
mean,
go.
like, hello.
Yeah.
That is so fun.
Yeah, we did so many things. It was like everything's kind of
Yeah.
It's all kind of blurred a little bit. I mean, it's
Well,
one of those things I've talked
yeah.
to a few people, and with it ever, you know, 4th of July being on a Tuesday or Wednesday, ever in that middle of the week, it's almost such a long celebration where you do start celebrating kind
Yeah.
of Friday,
Yeah.
definitely Saturday, because, you know, like it is just funny because we celebrated a long time.
Monday after work, then Tuesday all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm here for it too. Like, I love it.
Did you guys have your pools up and the kids were swimming and all
Yep.
that stuff too? So.
Yep, and we, you know, right now our in-laws have their family from Minnesota down.
Okay.
You know, and going to the lake and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. So,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's about family and getting together, and
you guys went to a baseball game a couple days ago.
yep,
So,
we did.
and you just can't get more American than that. Baseball over the 4th
As
of
we're
July
speaking
weekend.
about American, though, the flag behind you, guys, Andy decorated this studio, and I don't know if I ever asked you where that flag is from. It's a little bit tattered. It's in a frame, and it's old.
So, like Joanne Gaines,
Yeah.
you know, she would go antiquing. So I thought I would do that to try and get some cool stuff for here.
Okay.
And yeah, I saw that, and it wasn't like way out of the ballpark expensive.
Okay.
But that flag was flown during the 1945 Memorial Day Parade in Boston.
Oh.
So, I mean, I thought the history behind it was kind of cool, and I thought it looked kind of cool in the
I'm
frame
counting
there.
the stars.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, no, I was
should
just,
be 50.
I don't know.
There's 48.
I think there's 48. That's what I was
So
thinking.
we-
So
we-
that means it's super old.
Yeah, we didn't have
We didn't
Hawaii,
have Hawaii and what else? Alaska?
Well, we should have had Alaska.
Could have been. I don't
Maybe they didn't update the flag.
I just I love antique stuff. So when
Yeah.
I really do, when you brought that in, I don't remember asking, but it's like the white isn't white. There's stains on it. It's just really cool. So when you're talking about that, it's literally above your head. I was like, I got to ask.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's
yeah.
what that's
America.
all about there. There you go.
48 star flag.
okay.
It says Harry Truman and the 48 star flag. It says it was the flag that flew over the United States. Oh, during the Truman administration, 45 to 53.
Okay.
There you
So
go.
it's so old.
The 48 star flag is the flag that soldiers and sailors fought for during World War II.
Yep.
Okay.
And that was the 1945 Memorial Day Parade in Boston.
And there you go.
That's
why.
awesome. That's so cool.
That lines up. Checks out. I don't have
Yes,
to go
it
back to the
does.
antique shop.
Right.
Take it back.
I'd be like,
So it says the number of stars. Oh, I was just trying to see when they what the 50 was.
yeah.
So 48 was New Mexico and Arizona. And we should know this. We didn't pay attention in history class.
I definitely didn't.
It would be nice if history was taught a little bit more.
Our good buddy that's really good and educated in Nebraska City, he
Yeah.
would be like,
okay.
he'd be so disappointed in us.
Yeah, there it is. It's Hawaii and Alaska.
Oh,
Yeah.
boom, we did know.
I didn't know,
What
yeah.
the heck?
Yeah. And when did they get recognized on the flag?
Looks like about 1960.
Okay.
Okay.
There.
All right.
All right. No, we got to get him back on. Dean.
Yes, Dean. Sorry, I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, Dean Schisler. And I think he's got some pretty cool stories lined up that he can share with us.
Awesome.
That are interesting like that.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what was
so-
the last one that he was talking about? The gun from Hitler?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
that
like, come on.
a person from Nebraska City received a gun or sent a gun, a handgun, like memento type thing to
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler. Like what?
Yeah. Like, is that's real?
Rewind. Go
yeah,
back to that.
please do explain.
What's
But
happening here?
yeah, well,
Yeah. I
got
think
anything else?
No, I think
No.
that about covers our
I-
America celebrations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment and recognize.
This beautiful
Mm-hmm.
country we live in.
There's no doubt there's a lot of stuff that's messed up.
Oh,
but if
agree.
you go through
Yeah.
history and you listen to, radio stories and whatever, so much of this crap has been going on for so long in one form or another, and you just got to get that perspective. I mean, I think there's some arguments that could be made that maybe there's some more stuff going on now than there was, but
Sure.
maybe there's not. Maybe it just feels like that because we're in it.
And it's so hyped, social media.
That's the
you know.
other thing is that we are so much more exposed to it now. It's so much more
Yeah.
accessible.
Centralized too. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Where before, even when we were kids, you would have to either turn on the TV or the radio if you were going to get exposed to any of this
And
stuff.
the newspaper. and
Otherwise,
that's it.
yeah. Otherwise, you were just running around the neighborhood
yeah,
and oblivious to what's going on halfway across the country.
right.
And today, now we've got it in our pocket, and that's what people have to remember is
Yeah.
that you're seeing so much more of it.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out earlier, there's a lot of good going on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
those are the things that people should focus a little more on.
And part of that realization, people becoming aware, because I just kind of feels like you just keep poking with this
Yep.
stuff,
Yep.
right? You're starting to see like, okay, if you're going to try and hijack a word, or you're going to try and push this message on me, I'm going to stop buying your beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop
Right.
shopping at this department store.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like in real time, companies pay the price to try and sell something like that. And I don't know if you would have. It's a two-way street, is what I'm saying. For every
Sure.
action, there's a
Yep.
reaction. I think if a beer company would have done that in the '80s, like most people wouldn't have been aware of it, right?
Yeah.
And thought twice about it.
Right.
But now that you're trying to shove it, and it is accessible, and it is in my face, and then it takes on this weird social media craze, look out.
Yep.
Like America's going to come back at you. Common folk are going to come back at you.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
And by doing nothing more than just, all right, I guess I'll just switch over to this flavor, you know?
Right.
The common folk is truly, you hear that term about the silent majority. It truly is the silent majority. It's those folks mostly down the middle who just sit around and just take it and take it and take it.
Yep.
And eventually decide when and what topic where enough is enough and act on it.
Yeah. I just heard a pretty good podcast from Joe Rogan, and he's like, why has the word pride turned into gay? Like,
Seems like we did a
It seems like
episode
we
on that.
yeah,
talked
didn't we?
about pride.
We beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of an example. Like, man, when you say the word pride, you just immediately go to the rainbow flag. Why do
Right.
rainbows get hijacked? Why does that have
Right.
to be to
Yeah.
one group of people now?
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of funny. Like that's totally working towards the silent majority.
For sure.
It is.
But
For sure.
yeah.
but that's why we do the podcast.
Yeah. Just try to keep
Give
things
back.
real.
Give back a little bit here.
Let
For the
people know.
people, by the people.
That's right. Yeah, we got to get that on a T-shirt.
That's
Yep.
the new line. Yeah. Well, have a good weekend, Andy.
Yeah. Stay
All right.
awesome, America.
Yep.
That's
All
right.
right.
All right,
We're going to close
peace.
it out.
Later.
See ya.